time has come to do another fuel filter change on my 2024 GMC 3500 AT4. If you go to the dealership, they ask an absurd amount of money. Guys, this is an easy job that you should be doing at your house with just a simple couple of tools. So first is you're going to need a fuel filter. You can take the part number off this one. This is a GM genuine fuel filter. I bought this off of walmart.com. I think this was 27 bucks on sale. You are going to need a 36 millimeter socket, and this is going to get the fuel filter off. You're going to need a T40, and this is going to get the water drain. Obviously a ratchet extension, a torque wrench. I like to use some gloves because no one wants to be smelling like diesel for the rest of the day, and then a couple of shop towels, and then obviously you need something to catch the fuel in. Again, this is something that altogether probably cost me 35 bucks. This I think was $8 on Amazon, and I'll reuse it. Everything else I already had at the dealer. This is a couple $100. So guys, do this yourself. I'll show you how to do it, and it takes probably about 20-25 minutes. All right, let's get started. So if you don't know where your fuel filter is, it's kind of halfway between the driver's door and the rear passenger door. And you can kind of see what it looks like on the screen. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to drain out any water at the bottom of the filter. So I'll show you how to do that. Now, this truck has 31,000 miles on it, so this is my second fuel filter change. They recommend every 15,000 miles or so, which is what I try and do typically. This is my, my fourth diesel, and I try and typically do every 15,000 miles. Now that said, I have about 12% is what the gauge shows left. So technically I could go a little bit longer, but it's not worth trying to get every last mile out of it. So I try and get quality fuel. Let's see if any water comes out. But that's step one. So we can just quickly undo this. And hopefully no water comes out. All right, there you go. No water, so that is a good sign. All right, so now we're gonna put this back in. Since there's no water, gotta make sure that it goes back where it's supposed to. This does not need to be very tight. All right, next we're actually gonna take the fuel filter housing off, and this can get a little bit messy. So this is where we're using our 36 millimeter ratchet, and I'm just gonna loosen it to start until a little bit of fuel comes out. Then I'll do it by hand. I'm just ready with my bucket. So let it drip for a second. now I'm gonna do it by hand. I'm gonna try and get as little mess as possible. Like I said, this is always a little bit messy. So I just have a rag nearby. I can wipe my hands. And this is why I use gloves. So I'm gonna let that drip for a second. Luckily I didn't get any on me, which is always a good sign. All right, now while that's a slow drip, I am going to come in here, and there's a little washer up here that I'm gonna take off. And I'm just gonna get a little pick tool to do that. I'm gonna come in here. I'm just gonna grab this little washer. This little O-ring, excuse me. And be a little bit fragile because you don't want to mess up this little pickup. Alright. Alright, so here's the little O-ring. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little O-ring on the end of my pick. Alright, now I went to my kit and I grabbed the new O-ring. So this is the new O-ring that I have right here. So I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna gently put that in place of where the old one was. And again, I'm trying to be a little bit delicate. And that O-ring is now back in place. All right, so here we have the bucket. So you can see there's actually quite a bit of diesel that comes out with this. And we are gonna take our filter, and we're gonna separate our filter from our housing. A little bit stuck there. All right, and as you can see, this actually isn't that bad. So this is 15,000 miles, maybe a little bit more like 16,000 miles. I use good quality fuel, but yeah, not too bad for kind of where it's at. So probably could have got a little bit more out of this, but I'm okay without it. All right, so now we're gonna do a couple things. First, we're gonna grab our shop towel and take our old filter. And again, you want a lint-free shop towel. And I'm just gonna wipe out the inside. So, I like these blue rags because there's no residue. So that's step one. Step two is I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna take a little pick tool again. I'm gonna take this old O-ring off. So this comes off. I'm just gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna take our new O-ring. I'll grab a little bit of oil. A little bit of oil here. And I'm gonna just take the oil. And I'm gonna rub it all over this O-ring. Some oil on my gloves, just any oil is fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna come back and put this on. Again, it just goes back in that groove. You wanna be somewhat careful not to rip the O-ring. But, okay, so then it goes back into this groove right here. You can see it wasn't seated. Now it is. I'm gonna check to make sure it's all the way seated. Come back with my towel, wipe off the housing. I just like to have a nice clean workspace, so anything that's not supposed to be oiled isn't oiled. All right, and again, I'm gonna wipe out the inside, just make sure I got nothing in there. And the big ring goes on the bottom, so you can see how this goes. I'm gonna take this and make sure it's pressed in all the way. So you heard that click. You want that nice positive click. Make sure that that's in. And we're ready to put this back in the truck. All right, now that everything's clean, the O-ring is sitting where the O-ring should be sitting. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna go left first. So, kind of loosening it to make sure it sits good with no cross-threading. Then by hand, I'm gonna come in here, go to the right, tighten it. Let me get my wrench. This does not need to be overly tight. I think 18 foot-pounds is the torque spec. So now I'm gonna get my torque wrench. Set it to 18 foot-pounds. This is probably a little overkill, but better safe than sorry. Grab my torque wrench. There it is. So again, it doesn't take a whole lot, 18 foot-pounds. All right, now I'm gonna grab another rag. I'm gonna clean up. I'll do one final clean when everything's in. Okay, so fully cleaned off. All right, let's go up top. All right, this next step is very important. We are going to actually prime the fuel pump. Now, a lot of people skip this step, and that kind of makes me nervous. So I'm going to give you a tip. I'm not even going to sit in my truck right now because instinctually I'd put my foot on the brake. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the start, and I'm going to let the truck wake up. And you can hear the fuel pump priming. So the fuel pump under there is priming. I have no leaks, which is good. So that is a solid sign. It's still priming again. So I'm gonna let it do its thing. Okay, now I'm gonna turn the truck off. Sit for a second. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm holding it till I see the green light. Okay, I don't hear anything priming. Turn it off. Do it one more time. Hold it till it comes on. Again, I'm gonna come under here and check for leaks. I'm gonna grab this. Just make sure there are no. Yep, so no leaks. Everything is dry. Priming is done. So I'm now gonna come back up here. Sorry for the shaky camera work. So I'm gonna turn the truck off. I'm gonna turn the truck on. Sorry, one more time. Turn the truck on. wake up the instrument cluster. So now I'm going to come down to my fuel filter. So you saw I had 12%. I'm going to reset it. Do I want to reset it? Yes. Reset it. Now don't be alarmed because it actually sometimes won't reset until you turn the truck off and back on. However, mine did it here. So I'm going to turn the truck off. Put my foot on the brake and start the truck like normal. There you go, see 31,000 miles. Now it did prime. I'm used to after I prime it, but I think we're okay given that. All right, there you have it. That's a wrap. That's a fuel filter change on a 2024 Duramax AT4 HD 3500. Again, the dealership charges you hundreds and hundreds of dollars. This probably takes me 20 minutes if I'm not filming, obviously a little bit longer when I'm filming. If you found this video helpful, please smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. There'll be more videos to come on this and some of the other vehicles I own. Thanks.